Hey, pilots! Welcome to another exciting episode of War Robots Domination, a series of helpful gameplay tutorials designed to help highlight the tactics and strategies that I use to help tip the scales of my favorite game, War Robots. Each episode will feature a handful of battles along with helpful commentary that'll provide insight as to what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. I'm your host, Gotchure Beacons, and I've been playing this awesome game for a few years now, and I've learned a few tricks along the way that I'd love to share with y'all. You'll notice that although my hangar is fairly basic and at lower levels, I've been able to climb it up to Expert League. So I believe that you'll find my tactics will help you do more with less, which can be very helpful with today's economy in the game. I should also mention that this is my second account, so don't let my career profile stats fool you. This is actually my baby account. But it sends a great message to pilots who feel they need to chase the current meta in order to be competitive in battle. Because you don't. Wise gameplay can usually overcome any fancy gimmick. A death button is a great example. It can still melt just about any build, and its heritage stems all the way back to nearly the beginning of the game. It's all about knowing when to use it and how to use it. So, without further ado, I invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy today's episodes while I walk you through my gameplay tactics and share with you my mindset in battle. I hope you find it entertaining, helpful, and fun to watch. I think you will. I'm going to call this battle Rough Recovery, and I'll explain why immediately here. Enjoy my friends in the background and status as they play their epic song War. Perfect for this battle. Okay, guys, this is, well, I thought it was Beacon Rush. I thought I hit the Beacon Rush starter, and so I put Frick in. He's my Death Button Raven with the triple jump. Gets him right over here, and that's the perfect thing to do. Well, that's if you're in Beacon Rush. When you're in Domination, you kind of want to be a little less aggressive and a little more conservative. And I ran right into this thing thinking I was in Beacon Rush. And I'm like, what's going on here? So I had to switch to plan B, and that's when you gotta basically get a little more conservative with your pace, and that is what you need to do, guys. So definitely, understand the difference between Beacon Rush and Domination. There is a difference. You don't play them the same. You play with a little more conservative nature, a little more pacing when you're doing Domination, or you're gonna mech out early because every time you die, you gotta go all the way back to your home spawn area. You're not starting right in the thick of things. So the battle for beacons kind of goes in waves, and you can absolutely kind of use that to your advantage when you're pacing yourself. Well, on Beacon Rush, you don't do that. You got to rush right on in, and because every time you die, you don't start way back at the opening. You start at your next closest beacon, so you can actually put a heavy pace on it and a heavy pressure on it, and it actually works to your advantage. So Beacon Rush, Domination, completely different thing. And when I started off with this Beacon Rush mentality, rushing right on in, burned through a few bots right off the get-go. So I had to recover. I had to recover from that mental mistake. And now I've been a little more conservative, and Little Sir Nightmare did a pretty good job, by the way. And now I'm going to go into Buzzkill. This is my Spark Scourge Mender. He buzzes, then he kills you. He's definitely one of my old school bots. I say old school. He's still not old school. Guys, I've been here for 5 years. But he's, definitely not anything meta. And none of my bots are. I think Sir Nightmare is probably the most meta thing I have, if you want to call it that. But, I can still run around basically with these guys and do my pacing thing and kind of pretend, be careful what I'm doing. Look at, I'm hugging walls, hugging corners, corner shooting. That's all part of this game, guys. If you haven't learned how to wall hug and corner shoot, you're missing the whole idea behind this game. Look how well I'm able to hold up with all these guys around me, even though, now I'm surrounded. Well, that was that. And I probably would have a little bit of a more of an advantage. Unfortunately though, I don't, I wasn't going in with the right mindset. But we're coming back. Look at us, we're way down on beacons because I had that lousy beginning. But my team is starting to, come back. And guys, we're not inside the time warp yet. We're not, completely, crushed on things. And you know what? Here's a little more of a tip. This is Domination. You do have to be conservative at the beginning, or you're going to mech out early. And if you don't, if you're not mindful of this, here's what's going to happen. You will mech out early, and you won't last the whole battle. And if you don't last the whole battle on Domination, trust me guys, it's not going to pan out. Look at this. Now we're at a 4-1 beacon advantage. Now they are starting to feel the pain of their initial push, and now they're having to be a little more conservative with their bots because they're starting to mech out, and their initial push at the beginning is starting to backfire on them. So this is why I tell you guys, pacing is so important on Domination, and you want to keep a slow, conservative pace so you can stick around to the end and carry your team to the very end and win these battles. Unlike Beacon Rush, where you can rush in because you'll be able to get that beacon bar down so quickly before you start to run out of bots. There you go, guys. That was a rough recovery. We were able to pull it off, but I think it was because they started meching out, and their initial aggression started to backfire on them. Our men started getting back into the game, and now we had the nice green banner at the end, guys. But I sure did start off on the wrong foot, not helping my guys out all that well. But that's okay. We came back, we won the battle, and that's all that matters. And if you see your name, thanks for the game. Peace out, guys. I'm going to call this battle Every Second Matters. And man, stick around for a barn burner, guys. Enjoy my friends in the background and status as they play their super cool song, November. I have a link to their website on the description of this episode. So we are in Castle. It's a great map. I tell you what, I think Castle is one of my favorite maps because you just never know. Watch this little trick here. Now, this guy thinks he got me, right? Ha ha! There you go. This is Mjolnir. He's my little phantom. And he's got that trick, where he can teleport back to wherever he started his little charge, and that works out well. When I try to push him off, he pushed me off, but that's okay. And what I was trying to do is actually get him between me and his red mate so I could charge, do some damage to him. It didn't quite work out, but you know what? We're moving forward here. This is Castle, as you know. I really like it a lot. It's got a lot of great routes and layouts and things that you can do from here and there, different angles, different routes between one side and the other. It really makes it fun and challenging, and you just never know. It's kind of like Moon. So this is Mjolnir. He's my little phantom. He's getting pegged by a there he is. Yep. He's getting pegged by a scorpion. I'm trying a little fun here, and he's just keep jumping around here. It could be a different scorpion for all I know. I don't know. All I know is he's got my number big time there. Well, there he goes. So this is Whizbang. He's my little Mag Blitz. He's another little firecracker. I'm gonna go down there and see if we can't get this bridge back. I tell you, that was a scorpion. He didn't do a very good job. He kind of basically did his little scorpion thing right in front of a bunch of people. I don't have a scorpion yet, but if I get one, I'm going to have to be very careful about who I pick on, because you might just be tapping a bear on the shoulder. He might turn around and just wipe you out, like that guy just happened. So anyway, there goes Whizbang. Now I'm going to hop into, this is Sir Nightmare. Guys, when I say this, I call this Every Second Matters. And I say every second, I mean every second on that beacon bar. So what we're doing right now, obviously, we're having a game of Domination. And on Domination, it's all about 3 and hold. It doesn't matter which 3. As long as you're keeping a 3 beacon advantage for the majority of the battle, that's what you're trying to do. So that one's blew up there. Now we got to get that guy down. Now I'm going to go over here and see if I can't get this one because we're down 3-2. And I got someone charging at me here. And it doesn't look like, oh yeah, good, woo! I got this one. Now, see, some of these guys are more worried about combat. If I were them, I'd be walking toward this circle, and they didn't. As a result, I was able to grab that one. Now, hey, I got this guy coming back, and unfortunately, he lagged in such a way that I got chunked down quite a bit. And unfortunately, I don't think Sir Nightmare is going to survive that one. That's my Nightingale. So now I'm going to hop into, this is Buzzkill. He's my Sparks Gorge Mender. He buzzes, then he kills you. When you start playing this game of Domination, one of the things you want to do is make sure that you keep your eye on the panicometer. That's that little thing at the top there with the beacon bar and the beacon count and the head count and all. See where you're at on the battle. We are at an advantage on the beacon bar, where it just became a disadvantage on the beacon count. I think they overtook the bridge down below, and that's what's going to happen on Castle. Is there's going to be an ebb and flow to that bridge, and you'll notice that it really depends on where your team is pushing. But we've got a Titan coming across the bridge here. We cannot let him overwhelm over here. Now I hit his phase shift right when he did his stow put, and he didn't make it. but we're still down on beacon count, and I need to do something here. Oh, and there's a little Loki on their side who's going to give us fits. Well, it's time to pull out my little Diablo. This is my Loki, and one of the things I've learned how to do is go after the uncontested beacons. Right now we're at a 3-2 beacon disadvantage. I can see the uncontested beacon at the far away. It's actually their home spawn beacon. And obviously any one of them can be spawning in at any moment because they are only down one guy on head count. I'm looking at the panicometer, but I also see we're inside the time warp. This is when every second matters. I want to stay here. I know that these guys are going to... You got a Nightingale with low-hanging weapons that can shoot me, and you also have a Titan that was coming up. But I stood there as long as I absolutely could because right now, every second mattered. That little extra stanch there with the 3 beacons is good. I'm going to try to get this one. I didn't stand in the right spot, and I forgot that guy can punt me. Well, I'm going to hop in my Titan. But that extra time on the beacons there helped us out a little bit. Every little second matters when you, especially inside the time warp. That advantage bought us an extra little beacon bar. Now, they're going to come back with a beacon advantage, but it's a little too late. And it's not going to plummet our bar. If they were to make it a 4-capper, then it would make a big difference for them, but they didn't. And if you look at the timer, we are down to just a few seconds, and that little advantage, woo, bought us the game. Every second matters, guys. When you are inside the time warp, that's 3 minutes or less, make sure that you are focusing on ramping up your beacons as much as possible. Get that beacon bar advantage as much as possible, because that little advantage is really going to have an effect during the time warp area there, and that it could help you win that battle. Great pilots on both sides, and if you see your name, thanks for the game. Peace out. I'm going to call this battle Nightmare Rush. Don't go anywhere, guys. This is some kind of special. Enjoy my friends in the background and status as they play their awesome instrumental, Mortality. All right, guys, so this is this episode's Beacon Rush battle. I opened up with Frick. Now you got the triple jump on him. I try to grab their far home beacon. It's one of those funny things. It doesn't always work. Well, but now you got a whole bunch of reds over there. So far, congested over there that they're not really covering the rest of the battlefield. This could play into our advantage. This is Sir Nightmare. He is my Nightingale. I won him by filling out a questionnaire. And you know what? I'm still learning some things, but he's pretty durable. You gotta kind of time everything you do. I've got a phase shift on him. Now, obviously, this is Beacon Rush. This is all about capping beacons and getting that 4-capper and parlay that into a 5-capper and, see if you can't, whittle the reds down. Now, I'm grabbing this one, which is kind of their home beacon. Now look it up at the panicometer. We got a 4.5-capper, 3.5-capper. Oh, they're going back to a 3-capper, but look at this. Oh, they left their little spawn area there, and no one filled in to kind of grab it. And guess what Mr. Nightmare was able to do? Boom! 5-capper. All right, now it's just a matter of riding this out. Now here, Sir Nightmare was just about mech'd out, at the early set, but he weathered that little storm. And now, with his abilities, which also put his health back up, it's almost like hitting a healing button and everything else, and keeping my men, healthy. We got this solid 4-capper, so solid that I'm going to go right back in here and actually taunt them. I know what I'm doing right now. I'm taunting them to bring them back away from the center. I want them to come back here and address me by keeping them over here and getting this a 5-capper. Not only are the men coming back, or the reds are coming back here, it's making it easier for my men around the battlefield here. And look at this. Boom! That was a Nightmare Rush. Sir Nightmare, you did your job on that one. Not a lot of damage, but that's not what Beacon Rush is all about. It's about establishing an early domination on the beacons and using those portals to then leverage where you leave in, where you spawn in, and keep putting pressure toward their home spawn area, and it worked beautifully. And if you see your name, thanks for the game. Peace out. Well, friends, that just about wraps it up for another episode. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed what you saw and were able to take something you learned and use it in battle. I add content to my YouTube channel on a regular basis, so if you like what you see, please tap on the subscription button and then tap the bell to be notified when new episodes are released. Or just click on an old episode and maybe catch another tip that'll help you up your game. Also, Discord is a great way to connect with other amazing pilots, keep up on the latest news, and learn more ways to improve your gaming experience. Without question, one of the best Discord servers out there is War Robot's Master Pilots. Managed by some of the best pilots in the game today, it features a robust list of informational, tutorial, and informative channels to cover anything and everything related to this awesome game. So definitely take a moment to click on the link in the description of this episode and check them out. Finally, my goal is to provide you all with entertaining and helpful information that'll help reduce the frustration and increase the fun. So if you feel these videos are helping you, please share them with a friend, someone you think might benefit from them. Well, that's about it for today, guys. As always, keep them blue out there, and I hope to see you on the battlefield. Just make sure you're having fun, because if you're not, you're doing it wrong. I love you all for your support. Play well. Peace out.